So we are so excited to bring up our next speaker. And man, Steve and I look up to Danny and Diane McDaniels. These guys are on their game. Their leadership is exceptional.
Yeah.
And these guys are crushing it. I mean, I know that when they got in, and I know where they are now in the business. I think they're number 3 in the companies.
Yeah, right now.
Like in the whole entire company,
World.
they are flying past everyone as if they are standing still. And we are so proud of these guys. And thank you, Danny, for being a part of today and shining your light and blessing everyone to let them know that rise up. They have 6 days left to keep promoting. Thank you. Take it away.
You bet. Thanks so much. And thanks so much for those kind words. And, we're a lot of that just, the credit goes to you guys for putting the structure in and the major events in that we've been able to plug into. So you just really made our role as leaders easy. And we're so grateful for that. And which makes us even excited about this week. We're grateful for that too, because it just takes 2 tons of weight off our shoulders and allows us to do what we do best. And so, guys, we're in exciting times. In 2025, you've got to really adjust your thinking. Let me say this first of all. Never trust your future or your fortune to your memory. I believe in hardbound journals. I can't force it down your throat, but 20 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, your kids and your grandkids, they're not going to be sifting through a flash drive, or they're not going to be looking for an old hard drive of yours. They're not going to be getting on one of your old computers looking for notes. They're going to be able to read all your wisdom, all your notes, all the things that you learned in life as a grandparent. They're going to be able to read it right there in your hardbound journals. So you never trust your future or your fortune to your memory. When you can get nuggets like from Kyle, we work best when we're obsessed. That was crucial for me to take that note. And then he had other notes beyond that I took. Or for Ken to say tedious repetition of routine actions makes us great. The only reason I could say that is because I wrote it down. I could not have recalled that from 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. What about Olga saying negativity and no's are silence to my ears? Did you catch that? Did you catch that and or did you just hear it? See, I'm going to learn this concept. Negativity and no's are silence to my ears. You have to write it down for it to really penetrate you. So, that's number one. But I want to challenge you to really analyze short-term versus long-term thinking. If you're going to get into a business like this, you've got to have long-term thinking. Too many people, because network marketing is a very low-risk business where it's a minimal startup. And that's quite frankly, that's the problem. The problem is there's no risk because a minimal startup is too easy to get involved and then quit in 3 weeks or quit in 3 months because you didn't make millions. Whereas, you start a franchise and you pay a $25,000 to $50,000 franchise fee just to get the name. Then you spend anywhere from $100,000 to $6 million to be able to open up your doors and take 40 hours of some kind of classes or 8 weeks worth of classes. And then you have to have anywhere from 100 to 800 hours of on-the-job training, but you do it because you have this massive investment. And so you have a long-term thinking. You're going to get out of the red and in the black in 2 years, maybe, if you work hard. Well, here you have such there's such a minimal investment that you have to still see it that way. You have to see the payoff. You're out of the red and in the black in no time. So now you just got to see that if I work this business methodically over time, and I see this as a long-term play for me, here's what it can do for me. So that's what you have to weigh out. And you have to look at things in life. Like right now, if you knew about a certain stock, just take a stock on the Security and Exchange Commission, and you knew that it was going to grow by 50% this year without a doubt, and it was guaranteed. You would put lots of money into that. If someone came and told me that today, I'd put 100 grand into that stock today because it's going to grow by 50% over the year. Or if someone brought you an investment and that you knew that investment guaranteed was going to double or triple over the next year, you'd put everything you could into that investment. Well, what about a company that's grown by over 3,000% since 2018? What about a company that's been on a meteoric rise since 2018? What about a company that's gone from a $20 million company in revenue to over $600 million in 4 years? See, when you start analyzing business, the way you should be looking at business, going, this company is performing on levels that would cause me, if I were an investor, and we are not in this, this is not securities and exchange. This is not the securities business, but just think from a mentality standpoint. If you look at this thing the way you should be looking at it, you're looking at a company that's on a meteoric rise in growth. You have an opportunity to capture market share dollars in that meteoric rise if you go to work and you see this with some long-term thinking. Because if they're paying 60 cents on the dollar for every dollar revenue, just think if LifeWave did 600 million last year, well, 60 cents on the dollar goes back to the distributor base. Well, that's $360 million that brand partners got paid out in 2024. So if it goes to, let's just say 800 million, and Lord willing, 800 million. Well, let's just go $1 billion. Just say, Lord willing, hypothetically it hits $1 billion. You go to $1 billion, well, that's 600 million in revenue back to the distributor base. Who does that go back to? The people that see this with a long-term vision. The people that see, hey, I can capture part of $600 million of market share dollars that can be paid to me by an owner of a company who's generous enough to pay 60 cents on the dollar for me going to work and me changing people's lives. So now how do you do it? Well, it's not about all the how-tos. The how-tos are in the system. The system is there, the tools are there. And today's not about like us teaching you 50 different things on how the system works. That's there in this is a copy and paste. You watch the videos and you get it. Just like Steve was saying at the beginning, watch Kerry Robertson, see the magic of Kerry Robertson's training 2 weeks ago, watch the videos. The how-tos are there. But what you have to understand is this: the number one rule in any business or endeavor is to get people to the major events. That's the number one rule in this industry. Get people to the major events. That means get you and your people to the major events. So you've got to work hard over the next 7 days, 5 to 7 days, to get people to this virtual event, to lock into it. Like Steve was saying, he gave you the necessities for that, how to lock into that. And so that's the number one rule. And then what are you looking for in this long-term thing? I'm going to tell you one story to end it so that I don't get too long. I'm going to tell you a story of my sponsor from this industry when my wife and I got in 28 years ago. My sponsor tried to recruit me for over a year, and he tried to recruit me with product. And I was a Chinese buffet eating Dr. Pepper drinking machine. And I didn't care about nutrition. I didn't believe in vitamins. I didn't think they worked. I just heard they didn't, they didn't even dissolve. And so I was a head football coach, and this parent kept recruiting me kept giving me samples of products. About every 2 or 3 months, he'd give me a magazine of the company. He'd give me more samples, things to try, tell me stories, and I wasn't interested in anything. And so this guy was about to quit the business because he wasn't making the kind of money after a year that he wanted to make. He was making $300 to $400 a month, and his sponsor was making $11,000 a month, and the leader above him was making $18,000 a month, and so he was discouraged and he was going to quit. And so his sponsor, who was making $11,000 a month, talked him into going to one more event, the convention, the company convention that was 3 times a year, and so he went to that convention, and you know what? He came out of that convention, and on February the 13th or 14th of 1997, he walked out of that convention with one golden nugget. That's all he got, one golden nugget. And you know what that one golden nugget did? It caused him to come to my field house and tell me and package his story properly. And that one golden nugget got me in this business. That one golden nugget finally got me to see it, because I wasn't looking for products. I was looking for income. And what he spoke to me was about the opportunity. And I went, what? What? Tell me more. And that got me in this business, changed his life forever, changed me and my wife's life forever. It's the one golden nugget for a guy that was about to quit. Get you and your people to the major event. And the last thing I'll leave you with is a golden nugget. The one who tells the story the most, the person who tells the story the most wins the age. So you just got to be a professional storyteller, and you got to tell the story more and more and more and more to win the age. So Steve and Gina, thanks for having me on. It's going to be a great week next week, and we're looking forward to it.